Welcome back to the Cinnamon Effect. I'm Kimberly Hand, and today I'm here solo on the mic, guys. Hey there, and welcome to the Cinnamon Effect podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Hand, and I'm thrilled to have you with me on this vibrant journey of discovery and growth. This podcast is your go-to space for embracing intention, where you'll find clarity on your unique path, deepen those meaningful connections, and unleash your creativity like never before. We'll explore how to build unshakable confidence and celebrate the beauty of gratitude, all while savoring the calm that consistency brings to our lives. Thank you for being with me. Let's sprinkle a little cinnamon into your day and make life sweeter, healthier, and more fulfilling. Last week, I recorded a part 1 of how to live a non-toxic lifestyle. And I use the term non-toxic or, no toxins. We're not going to let any toxins into our environment, into our lives. And I realize that is so not attainable. So I feel like a better phrase is a low tox lifestyle. So we're not aiming for perfection here, folks. We are making conscious choices to eliminate toxic things in our stratosphere, okay? And this is not like Kimberly does everything perfectly. This is the fact that I have been on this journey for so long that I feel like I have a lot to add to this conversation and to encourage you to make these changes, but to also know that it's a complete evolution. You're not going to like reach this finish line. It's a constant reevaluating of the products you have in your home, the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and then saying, oh, you know what? I think I can like adjust that a little bit over here and do even better than I was doing before. So with that in mind, on the last episode, if you didn't listen to that, I gave a lot of recommendations, more in the kitchen space, but more in the beauty, self-care, product kind of category. And those are the things that I use. I told you I'm not really affiliated with any of those companies, but these are just products that I really, really like to use. And I thought people ask me all the time my recommendations. So I thought it would be great to have an episode that you can go back to and listen to and take notes and figure out, you know what, hey, that product really worked for me or it didn't, and you want to revise it and try and figure out another product in that category, like deodorant, aluminum-free deodorant. That is a tough one because people are very specific on what they like. And I will tell you that it doesn't work sometimes the way you hope it will work right off the bat. So it is a trial and error type thing. So today I am talking about a couple things that maybe are not on your radar when you think non-toxic or low-tox lifestyle. And the first one is fast fashion. And I think I'm going to make some enemies by recommending certain things here, because I think that within the last year, I started to really think about the clothing I was buying, how much I was buying of it, the different brands, the fabrics I was buying. And so I really have tried to evaluate this. And I think that when you really evaluate what is in those fabrics and how they're treated with different chemicals, you would not be wearing half the stuff that you're wearing. It's gone around about Lululemon pants. I don't have a great recommendation for athletic wear yet. I have tried a couple of brands. I do like Pact, P-A-C-T. I have worn their sports bras. I do like them. However, their yoga pants, I still need to find like a better solution for that. This summer, I kind of rebelled against yoga pants in general. It was way too hot here in Florida. So I was wearing some more breathable shorts. I actually got them through Free People. At Sarah Fisher Fitness. She's a local studio here, and she's coming on the podcast. You'll hear her episode. But she had these really cute little shorts, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect for summer. And I feel like it's more breathable. I felt like I was literally suffocating to death in my black Lululemon pants in 90-degree heat here in Florida. So I digress a little bit on the athletic pant thing, but the fast fashion. So I'm talking about Shine or Sheen. I'm not even sure how you say that, to be honest. Shein, H&M, Forever 21. I'm not going to make some friends with this one. Zara. Are we considering Zara fast fashion? I'm not really sure. I know there's some Zara stans out there that are going to like come after me when they hear this, but think about the things that you're buying. I remember being literally like in my 20s and going to Forever 21 and buying a shirt and being like, I could just throw this away at the end of the night because it's probably going to fall apart in a week or after one washing. And yes, I used to contribute to that. I used to buy those things. And Kimberly of today is not into that anymore. I'm not into that vibration of the fabrics. I think those fabrics like polyester and rayon and all of these things are like low vibration. And if you look into that, there's a lot of people that talk about the vibration of clothing. And so these toxic coated fabrics are like low vibration. So who wants that? Who wants to be out there in the world baking in this Florida heat with like a toxic fabric on, right? So I have started to think about the fabrics that I'm purchasing. I'm super into silk right now. Feels so nice. It's like so luxurious and it feels very high vibration to me. So like the fabrics that are better for you to purchase are silk, linen, organic cotton, or 100% cotton. Those are the things you want to think of. The ones that you don't want to buy are polyester, nylon, acrylic, spandex, rayon, acetate, any of those. And they are in so many things. High-end clothing, low-end clothing. There are a lot of these fabrics that just I think that's the next step in this whole revolution of low tox or non-toxic lifestyle is the actual clothing that we're wearing. And there is talk about it now, but I do think that's going to be the next wave of what we're really concerned about. And I just did a podcast on regenerative farming, and there are now companies that are using regenerative cotton. There's different companies that are out there doing this amazing work, and we need to support them. We need to research them, find them, and support what they're doing because they are bringing us a healthier alternative to these toxic fabrics that we're buying. So how do I adjust my purchasing when I'm buying clothing? It is hard, and I'm like I said, this is an evolution, and this is to get you to start thinking that way. This is not I do it perfectly and I know the answers, and I don't even have recommendations other than certain fabrics that I'm trying to target. And just the other day, I was looking at a skirt, and I really wanted like 100% silk. And there was one that looked like silk, but it had some other, fabric mixed into it. So I'm just not using my dollar to buy those. I'm using my dollar to buy something else. And I am spending probably more per piece, but I'm trying to do it more intentionally and have a better quality piece. So not something that I'm just going to get rid of because it didn't wear well. It's something that I'm going to hang on to for a while. And if you guys have been following me for a while, I've done No Shop September. It is coming up on September, actually, I think Monday. And so I am, to the excitement of my husband, I am going to do No Shop September again. And so that is anything that does not absolutely need to be purchased. So if I need toilet paper, I'm going to buy toilet paper. Obviously groceries, something for my son that he needs for school or whatnot. But anything outside of that, any clothing or anything in excess, I just don't do it for the month of September. And it really teaches me some mindfulness and just to be more intentional. And I love to shop. And so I'm probably going to be scrolling and I'm going to be seeing some things that I like in the month of September. But this is the time where I kind of make a list and I think, oh, do I really need that? Do I really want that? And I just try to think more about my choices. I think it's such a good exercise to do and just give it a try. See if it works for you. Again, I did it a year ago. It was very beneficial. It got me thinking in a different way, and I'm going to do it again this year. So the other thing that I do is, so this is funny. I like to unsubscribe from the emails I get from my favorite brands. I know that sounds crazy, but I actually don't want to know all the new things that are coming out because it's just too tempting. If I'm trying to be intentional, I'm trying to purchase less, I don't need to see 4 emails a week about the new, color that has come out of this particular, clothing item. I just don't need to see it. So I try to unsubscribe so that I'm not tempted to buy. I think this is a really good hack, really good tip. Back to if you are buying things that have kind of, an undesirable fabric, are you washing that before you wear it? Because these clothes do come with residue. And, I feel like that's something I maybe used to be better about pre-kid. But now that I have a kid, I feel like if I buy something, I just kind of throw it on. So I'm thinking about that more too. Washing the new clothes before I wear them to limit any chemical residue in the manufacturing process. These are the things that we have to think about these days, especially when we're trying to limit the toxic load on our bodies. And this became important to me. I think I was diagnosed with autoimmune, and I think at that moment, I realized I had to eliminate as much as possible the toxic load on my body as far as chemicals, foods that don't react well with my body, emotional stress. I had to eliminate all of this. So this has definitely been a big healing journey for me, and this is part of it. It seems like these things are simple or silly, but they really do make an impact. As far as consumption, I have always consigned my clothing. So I think that's when, if we're going to consume, then if we are done with an item, I think putting it back into the cycle of life where someone else can enjoy this item is important as well. And I've consigned my clothes since I was very, very young. My mother used to take me to consignment stores. I would consign my clothing, and that was really the only way I was getting anything new, is if I got rid of my old stuff. So my mom really taught me this great practice of, first of all, taking good care of your clothing. I like to hand wash things, taking really good care of your clothing, and then also recycling it and putting it back out into the world if there's still life left in it. So I do consign my stuff. I still do it. I'm still in this practice. And I think too, if I take one thing out, I get to put one thing in. So if I can get rid of the things that are no longer serving me, then I get to put some new things in, intentionally, of course. So the 1 in, 1 out rule is what I'm following. So that is kind of a maybe not as popular of an idea to say no to fast fashion as part of a non-toxic or low-tox lifestyle. The next one I want to talk about is tech, okay? And, where I said the last episode was more products, this is more, let's eliminate some of these things from our lives that I do believe are toxic. And I think that we're just in such a cycle, and we see everyone doing it. I think is part of it. And you think, oh, well, it must be okay if this person is doing it and this person's doing it and everyone on the street is doing it and everyone in the bus is doing it, and all of these things. So, but I want to put it out there as there is another way. And if you're more conscious about it, there's another way that you don't have to follow just what everyone else is doing. And the tech is something I struggled with, because I'm not going to name any brand names, but I really wanted this one wearable that I see everyone wearing. I see, it's a ring, and I see people wearing it. And I thought, you know what? I really want the data that this ring gives. I want to know how well I'm sleeping. I want to know all these things about it. I went to, because I'm really into that. And I think, sleep, optimizing your sleep, all of these things are so important, right? So I went to Best Buy, tried on the ring. I was choosing whether I wanted the silver or I think they had a rose gold one, and they're so pretty. And, now you're seeing so many people with them on. And I was like, oh, I really like these. I think I really want one. Well, I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. I don't know well, I do know why now, but at the time I was like, I don't know why. I just can't like pull the trigger on this purchase. And I really just realized that I don't need a piece of tech on my body while I'm sleeping, while I'm supposed to be recovering. My body's in recovery and it's repairing itself and healing itself. Do I really need this ring on my body while my body is trying to do that? And it's generating data through an app and like so much is going on. Do I really need this in my life? And I came to the conclusion that no, I don't. And so this really got me thinking about all other wearables. And I realized I may make some enemies when I say this, but I don't like the wearables. I don't like the Apple Watch. I just don't like it. I don't think that you need to be tied to a piece of tech all day long. I don't believe that you should. We get enough of it. We've got our computers, we've got our cell phones, we've got EMF coming at us, in every which way. There's a lot of tech out there, a lot of screens, everything's automated. Do we really need to have this watch? If you have an Apple Watch, please tell me you're not sleeping with it on. Do we need this piece of tech on our bodies all the time? Okay. And I also don't like when I see kids with Apple Watches on. I don't think it's necessary. I understand the reasoning behind it. And I'm not trying to shame or judge or say that you're a bad parent because you let your kid have an Apple Watch. But I think maybe some people are just not aware. I just don't like kids having the Apple Watches on. I understand that you want them to have it in case of emergency, and I do understand that, but I want you to think about what that is signaling to them. That's signaling to them that they need to have a piece of tech or an electronic on them at all times. I just don't like it. Now, I might reevaluate this later on. My son's only 9, but what happens when he's, 15 or 16? But at this point in the game, I just don't like it. And I see a lot of kids actually his age wearing the Apple Watch. I think we need to think twice about that. And I think a lot of people just think that, well, this person's doing it over here and it's okay. And it's just so out there. But I just don't think that we should be doing that. So come for me if you want, but that is my opinion. I also don't like Bluetooth headphones for my child. I don't like them for myself either. I really don't. I think I'm still using the headphone with the cord, and every time I post that, people are like, "Oh, I don't wear the Bluetooth either." So I think there's more of us out there. Now, it's becoming more and more challenging to find headphones out there that have a cord and are not Bluetooth. And let me just tell you, it's not just here in the United States. I was in Europe last summer, and my son, we left his headphones in the plane. And so we tried to find some headphones and could not find headphones that weren't Bluetooth. And could not find them with a cord. We just could not find them until we did find them at one store. And I think they honestly had like little cat ears on them. And I was like, I don't care. Whatever it is, we're going to use these headphones, So I don't like the Bluetooth headphones. In fact, my son needs headphones for school because they do some iPad work during the day. And I send him with the cord, and it's got a little adapter, and it's that's the setup that we've got. I just don't want to do the Bluetooth headphone on him at this point. So a couple of things, I do have a recommendation for a brand as far as for iPad covers, cell phone covers. Safe Sleeve is really great. They have EMF blocking headphones. They have all kinds of different products. I also use a Higher Dose, the brand Higher Dose. You may know them for like the sauna blankets and the red light stuff, but they have a EMF proof fanny pack. So I go on these walks on the beach or, on the sidewalk by the beach, and I wear my EMF blocking fanny pack. Okay. I love a fanny pack anyway. And I know it's like the cool girls these days wear them like over their shoulder or something. I wear them like a typical fanny pack. So the EMF proof fanny pack, I love it. Safe Sleeve for iPad and cell phones. There's also now, we're just trying to reduce the impact of these tech items. So the blue light screens, now they have them, the blue light glasses, of course, but they have the blue light screens for all the devices. Even my son's Nintendo Switch has a blue light screen on there. I think I know they are EMF blocking stickers for your phone that you can get. I have those. I think I may have some on my laptop. Actually, not on this one, but so there's different things that you can do to kind of limit the impact of the tech in your life. Getting another huge one, getting a kill switch for the Wi-Fi at night so you can just turn it completely off. I will be honest with you, I have not implemented this in my house, but this is the next step. And where I'm saying, I come to my husband, I'm like, listen, this is what we're going to do this week. And he's like, oh God, okay. In fact, one of the things that we just did was in our master bath, we have LED lights. And I'm sure you've maybe heard some information about LED lights not being good for you because they actually vibrate or they flicker. They flicker at like a really rapid pace, and it's not good for you. So for whatever reason, the light, they really started flickering like in real time, and it would give me a headache just being in there. And nothing was wrong. We had an electrician come out. Nothing was wrong with the wires. Nothing was wrong with it. So I found this, I think it's called Healthy Home Shop. I'll have to double check that, Healthy Home Shop. But we got some lights that are more like circadian rhythm friendly. And so we changed those out. I'll say they're not as bright as the LED, but they just feel more soothing, like on my nervous system. So I think that the lights in the home are going to be one of the next things to be changed, as well as the kill switch at night. Those are like on my to-do list for, just reducing the tech in our lives all day, every day. I just think it's too much. So come for me if you want. I don't like the wearables for the kids. I don't like the Bluetooth headphones, the ear pods for the kids. I don't like them. So and one last tip. This is something that I feel like is important, and just a side note. Always talk on your cell phone on speaker. Don't hold it up to your ear. Don't hold it up to your head. And this may sound crazy to some of you, but I think these little things that you can do just reduce the bad stuff in your life. And if we're talking about tech, we really have to talk about and address social media and the role it plays in our lives. It's in everyone's life. It can be a very positive thing. I've talked about this a lot. I feel like it's been positive for me in so many ways, but it can be so negative. It can be so negative for our kids. It can be so negative for us. So we have to really think about who we're following, what they're posting, how it's affecting you. How does it make you feel once you are done scrolling social media? Like, you need to really evaluate all of this and then make changes in your life. And for our kids, we need to do that for our kids, and we need to model good behavior with that. Are we perfect? Am I perfect? No. I was on my phone at 8:00 last night. I try not to do that, but sometimes it happens. And I think we just really need to model good behavior with that. That's where I think with the Apple Watch and all of that, I just think the behavior we're modeling is that we have to be tied to an electronic at all times to get things done, to be more efficient. And, maybe that's the world we live in. But I do think if you're conscious about it and you can not live your life that way, that is the goal. That's my goal. That's really my goal. So to wrap up, I want to tell you my top 10 low tox moves, because we're not going to go no tox because it gives a perception that we have to be perfect at this. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to try. And I think we can make some really impactful changes. And, these are the 10 things I would do. Number 1, no plastic bottles, no plastic food containers. I would really eliminate the plastic in my life. Plastic bags. There's so many different things that you can use now instead of plastic. So just do the research and see where you can sub these things out in your life. Your water. What kind of water are you drinking? Your water filters. We talked about this on the last podcast. Water filters, reverse osmosis, drink out of glass versus plastic. Your water is huge. Think about that as the foundation and the building block of your health. Avoid synthetic fragrances. So a lot of the products I mentioned last time don't have synthetic fragrances. Really try and avoid that. I was just somewhere again, actually, after I recorded the last podcast, and I thought, oh my gosh, my brain, I can't even think because I've been engulfed in synthetic fragrance. I forget where I was, but just that synthetic fragrance, if you can eliminate that, all the things with synthetic fragrance in your home, your laundry detergent, your soaps, all of those things, it makes a difference. Number 4, be intentional with what you purchase. Buy less, but with more intention. Buy less, but with more quality. Just buy less and say no to the fast fashion, guys. I'm telling you, say no to it. The low vibration fabrics, you want the high vibration fabrics. They're going to cost a little bit more, but you only need 1 instead of 3 or 4 or whatever. So be intentional and buy less, but with more intention. Number 5, air purifiers and air quality. Check your AC filters, get your home checked for mold. Have an air purifier in your house. So important. I have one in the rooms that I spend the most time in. I now feel like I can't live without it. Don't overthink it, just get one. I have a molecule air purifier. There's so many good ones, Air Dr. Pro. There's so many good ones out there on the market. So just check them out. Number 6, very important. I said this on part 1 of this non-toxic lifestyle podcast. I always think of everything. Am I depositing into my health account or am I withdrawing from it? So everything I do, I don't get sleep one night. I know I'm withdrawing from the account. If you choose to drink alcohol, is that a deposit into your health account or is that a withdrawal? So really evaluating everything that you do. And sometimes you're going to say, you know what, screw it. Like I'm going to do it. And I know I'm withdrawing from the account and it's okay. But as long as you're aware and you're thinking of it, then that will lead you to better wellness and better health. I almost skipped it. Number 7, think about what you're consuming mentally and physically through social media and through relationships. Are they healthy for you? Are they toxic for you? It's easy to do that on social media. You can mute someone, you can block them, you can unfollow them. It's so much fun. Just do it. Promise me. But you need to eliminate these toxic people and relationships from your life because they're going to suck the energy out of your life. Number 8, limit technology and think about your devices and your kids' devices and set a good example for them. Set a good example of how to use electronics and have them in your life. They're not going anywhere, but let's put some boundaries around it. Let's also use good practices with them and model good behavior for your kids. Number 9, if I was going to make one change in my home, I would change my laundry detergent, my soaps, all of that type of stuff. I would change that. The laundry detergent is maybe one of the harder ones to change, but once you do it, it's so much better. And in fact, when I stayed at an Airbnb, and obviously they had washed the sheets and the towels in, let's say, one of those toxic laundry detergents. And again, it just really, it really made me realize wow, that is a lot of synthetic fragrance in that. And what does that do? What does that do to us? It's not good. It disrupts our hormones, so many things that it does. And to wrap up, my number 10 is when we know better, we do better. And we will evolve into making better choices over time. You start with one small change and then it evolves into bigger changes and bigger changes. And like I said, I've been on this journey for a long time, but I'm still learning so much. And I'm still changing things as I go. And I'm implementing new things and I'm implementing other brands and I'm trying new things. So I talked about it. I just switched the toilet paper. I mean, that's a huge one. When you've been using conventional toilet paper your whole life, and then you move to this brown toilet paper, it's a big shift, but it is worthwhile. I promise you. I think that all of these changes, and I'm modeling that for my son, and to just be aware and be intentional about everything that you try and implement into your home. So again, this is not about being perfect. This is about trying new things and making these changes. And I think it will lead you to a better place in your wellness. And I just want to share that with you, to give you inspiration to think about all the things that we're using. We can vote with our dollar and we can make these changes. And as you can see now that there's more and more companies that are doing the right thing and creating products without all of this disgusting stuff in it. So I would love to hear your questions. When I opened this up on social media and asked for things that you guys wanted to know about, I really appreciate that feedback. So if there is something else you want me to cover, let me know. You can send me an email, kh@kimberlyhand.com. You can reach out through social media and let me know. So, and then maybe we'll do a part 3. But thank you guys so much for listening. If you liked this episode, please rate, review, share it with somebody you love, and we'll see you next time on The Cinnamon Effect. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. If you enjoyed our time together, don't forget to hit that follow button on your podcast app and sprinkle a little love by leaving us a 5-star rating and a quick review. Your support means the world to me. For even more goodness, check out the show notes where you'll find links to some of my favorite products. And don't forget to visit thecinnamoneffect.com to connect with me directly or to grab your TCE Gratitude Journal, your next step towards a more grateful life. I can't wait to spice things up with you again next time. Stay vibrant, stay inspired, and remember to add a little cinnamon to your life every day.